Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got another video on the 912. It's been a long time since we've posted about this, mainly because we've been busy with other projects, but the car's also been away to AirTech for an air ride system. So yeah, in this video I'm going to show you the air ride. I'm going to make some engine bay tinware as well. We're going to modify the rear bumpers and do a few other bits and pieces as well. So it's quite an interesting one, so please check it out. Okay, so the 912 is back from AirTech and we've now got our air struts all fabricated for the front, and then at the back we've got these ones. So I've got a little bit of notching to do here to clear the drive shaft on full drop, both sides obviously, and we're going to do a little bit of notching at the front. We're also going to flip these tie rods the other way around, so we've got to have these machined, and that will give us full drop. So at the moment there's no air management system fitted to this, it's just on Schrader valves, but I'll show you it going down and then back up again. It's worth remembering there's not a single air ride kit available for these early 911s, never mind a short wheelbase one. So the kit for this is completely bespoke made. And we've also been busy sorting the wheels out. So these are Compomotive Fouche wheels. They came really wide. So we got in contact with SRR Hardware, who've sorted out some new dishes for us for the fronts. Actually, they've given us a new set of dishes for the rear as well. They're brand new. And then these are actually dishes, but because they're so narrow, but we're going to use them for barrels. So they have got a valve stem hole in them. So we're going to have those welded up, get them powder coated, and then we can paint the centres once Pat has decided the colour and build them up. Okay, so obviously we've now fabricated this engine mount, so all of this is not going to move now. We're happy with where that is. So the next thing we can consider is actually having an exhaust made for it. So I'm going to get some stub pipes ordered that drop out of cylinder heads and then provide two flanges to build the exhaust from. It's going to go over to Overkill Performance to make us an exhaust. And the plan is to actually have the exhaust exiting out of both sides. So I need to modify this side, but I also think what we might do is try and pull this further over. So it's exiting more sort of in line here. We're then going to weld these holes up because we're not going to have any trim on the bumper. And then yeah, that's it really. So yeah, I'm going to pop these bumpers off and get them modified. Okay, so I've whipped the bumpers off the 912, and as mentioned, we're going to weld up all of these holes because we're not going to be running trim through here. And I want to move the exhaust cutout more central to the car, not central to the bumper. And then I've got to add an exhaust cutout on this side as well. So let's get to it. I start by making a cardboard template from the left-hand bumper and putting it onto the right-hand bumper where I want it. With the hole cut, I can use pliers and the hammer and dolly to put a flange onto the exhaust cutout to match the other side. Okay, so that is this bumper corner finished. I've welded up all of the trim holes, and then I've cut in this exhaust exit. Now, as you can see, compared to the other one, so this is really close to the edge, and this has got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches here. So I need to move this hole to here to match this side, because we want the exhaust to come straight out the back of the car as opposed to at a slight angle. And then obviously I'll have to put a filler piece in here, and then yeah, weld those trim holes up. And the other thing I've done is that I've fitted a riv nut in here. So this is where the rear valance bolts to the bumper corner. Normally it's a nut and bolt, but that's going to be really tricky when you've got the exhaust tailpipe coming through there. So I've just planned ahead and fitted a riv nut. Okay, let's do the other one. With the exhaust cutout welded in place, I now need to make an infill panel for the other area. This is a tricky little piece to make because it's a compound curve, so I use the slip roll and English wheel to make this. Okay, so this has been a little bit trickier because this is a compound curve. It goes round there and down here, but that's actually shaped up quite nicely. So I'll weld it in and just put a little return lip on the bottom, and it's done. Well, there we go, that's come out pretty nice. Obviously this is the factory side that I've moved in, and this is the side I've replicated, so that's going to look really cool with the rear exit exhaust both sides, and yeah, all the trim holes welded up as well. So all in all, yeah, pretty pleased with that. That's going to look awesome. Now on to the tinware. As you can see, I've made a template out of wood. I initially made it out of cardboard. Just needed something a little bit more robust to make sure it was accurate. Now I can take all of this out and make it in aluminium. Okay, so it's both the left hand and the right hand side trays marked out now. I did have on the templates, let's lay that over the top. I had a bit of wood missing here because I didn't have another bit big enough, so I've just filled that in. Plus 10mm here and then plus 20-ish there. So now I can trim that to shape and test fit it. Okay, so the side trays are now completely cut out. Put them to one side and do this rear tin. Well, that is the aluminium tinware all made and screwed in place. I've got a couple of areas that I just want to trim and neaten up a little bit. I've marked those. But I've now got to make it look pretty. So I'm going to whip it all back out, screw it back together on the bench. I'm going to try and press a design into here. Hopefully I don't mess it up, because I don't fancy making that again. But yeah, I think it's going to look smart. We're going to flange these edges so it all sits flush. We'll put in some riv nuts, and then we'll use some nice fixings to fix it all into place. But yeah, pretty pleased with how that's all gone. It's looking smart. Okay, so I've made some brackets to stiffen this up so it doesn't flop around. The only thing I've got to do now, this seal channel dips up, sort of comes up to here. So this level is higher than this level here. So I kind of need to make a return flange that goes along the front edge of the tinware. So I'm going to do that next, and then it can come out and we can start making it pretty. But I've got my cardboard template to use to make sure I get that profile right. So I've cut 2 strips of aluminium and put a 90-degree bend on them. I'm then using the stretcher to make sure that they bend round to the right shape to meet the tinware. Here I'm using the bead roller to put a flange on the tinware. This will enable all the panels to sit flush. This is the last piece of tin to make. It's the trickiest part because it goes over the bell housing and has lots of intricate shape to it. Luckily I had this template left over from when I made the tinware for the Turbo Carman gear. It's very similar to the tinware needed for the Porsche 912, and I just had to extend each end. Okay, so as you can see, we've gone from cardboard to wood to aluminium. It's all been test fitted, so it all fits the engine nicely. I want to press these shapes into this panel to give it a bit more rigidity and just to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I can't do that on my bead roller. Unfortunately, it's just not suitable for the job. So I need to find someone that can do that. And then I've made these pieces that are going to, because the level of the seal comes up, these will have to be welded on and trimmed up and just finished off. But we are pretty much there. We know it all fits. So yeah, pretty pleased with how that has come out. So the rest of this video is going to be about this engine mount bar and the door tops for this car. I know some of you would have seen a video on that before, but I'm going to put it in this video just so it continues with the build series. So yeah, if you've seen it before, don't worry about watching it again, and thanks for watching this one. But if you haven't, please continue watching because it's quite interesting making this bar. So yeah, check it out. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is remake this engine bar. I made it for the Porsche 912 to put a Type 4 motor in it. I basically cut up a VW bay window bar, but it's a bit naff, to be honest, so I want to try and make something nicer. The first thing I'm going to do is use this bit of box section to use it as a platform for the engine mounts, so I'm just going to cut it to size using a bandsaw. Okay, so that is now bent up. It kind of shows how unsymmetrical the old tube was. But yeah, pretty pleased with how that's bent up. I now need to get the car on the ramp and I can look at fitting it. Okay, so that is the engine mount bar remade. Pretty happy with how this has come out. It's not perfect, but it's my first attempt with this bending machine. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. We've got this little platform for these mounts here. And then we've smoothed this in up here. And yeah, it's all sitting nice and square, so really pleased with that. Okay, so I'm going to strip these pop-outs down for refurb. We're going to have them all polished up and re-chromed and stuff. We've got all of this old seal on here that is rock solid. Doesn't bode well for getting these screws undone, if I'm honest. They'll probably be seized. And I don't know if this happened during transportation or if it was already like that, because say Pat packaged them up and posted them. But we're going to have to get a new one of those. But yeah, I'll get a time lapse of stripping these down. Well, it looks like I spoke too soon. These screws are seized, I'm going to have to drill them out. Once I've carefully drilled them out, I then run a tap through them to recut the thread. Okay, so that is one pop out now stripped. I've stripped the latch down. This broken bit, well actually the whole latch mechanism looks very much like a Carman gear one, so I might take a punt on a Carman gear arm and just see. These bits, I had to drill a few of these screws out and then re-tap, but they should be reusable once they've been re-zinced. So yeah, that should all be salvageable. And then this door top has all been stripped down as well. Might have to do a repair to the hinge to see if I can get that part. But again, all of that should be salvageable as well. So yeah, so far so good. On to the other pop out. Same again, we start with the hinge and then start disassembling that into a component form. Yep, I'm using a drill bit as a punch to knock out a roll pin. Don't really recommend that one. Okay, so that's the pop outs and that door top done. I'm just going to do this last door top. The one that concerned me because it's got all this damage around here. That should be flat and smooth, but for some reason it's all bent up. So I'm going to try and repair it. But yeah, let's get it apart first. As you've seen, these door tops have had lots of seized bolts and it's always good to use a bit of heat. Okay, so this is the bottom of the quarter light section, and as you can see it is bent all over the place. So I'm going to have a go at repairing this now. Hopefully it comes out nice and we can get away without trying to find a replacement. Well, that's actually gone quite well, and it still fits the frame nicely, so we've managed to save this part. I'm going to send it off to be polished, and it should look good as new. And there we go, that is the door tops all stripped. We've got these bagger bits for zinc plating, and it's all ready for polishing. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Regarding this car, in a few weeks' time, July the 20th, we're trading at Porsches in the Park. We're going to have this car on display along with our beach buggy with the Porsche 356 engine in it. So if you want to check these two cars out up close, please come along to that. I think it's just outside of St Albans. But yeah, in the meantime, please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.